You're listening to the Slavic Literature Pod, your shelf help guide to all things Slavic. I'm Cameron Lalana.
And I'm Matt Garasimovich.
And today we're covering Part 1, Chapter 46 of Vasily Grossman's Life and Fate, covering a different chapter in tone. I mean, this whole series has been strange for this book, the context of this book, but we follow a young girl named Natasha who's maybe on the cattle car with the rest of them, as we started with Ludmilla several chapters ago, but also seems to go through the motions of being executed at some point in time, which we know is not the fate for at least all the people in this cattle car. And it is a strange one because her life does not end with her death, or probably her death. And this one's been in my mind a lot, just because it's the framing, even for this whole section being different than the rest of the book, is so different in the devices we're using here. Is there any in particular that you want to start?
I liked your write-up from today, really. That's right. That's kind of where I wanted to start.
I'll take it. Thank you.
What did you find? What did you like about the framing, about the devices?
Yeah, well, so we may prove me wrong as we keep going. It's been a long time since I've read this book, and I don't think I finished it the first time, but this is possibly one of the only, or maybe one of the few cases where we go away from this book being literally what happened in the context of this novel. As I read it, we go into a bit of fantasy, and you could term it different things, but I don't think it matters what you term it. In terms of what matters is the outcome here, which is that we have, as Grossman's been going through different aspects of the Holocaust prior to the extermination camps, we have here, of course, an execution by gun. It doesn't end there, right? I mean, over 1.5 million people were killed by bullet prior to the extermination camps. This is the experience of a great many people, and we have here someone going through it, and I find it interesting the way that Grossman really forces us to focus on not the shooting itself, the horror of that, but focusing on the life of the person, this Natasha, who could be representative of any number of people. As I mentioned today, right? Of course, Grossman's own mother was killed in this fashion. So was it on his mind? I can't say, but it'd be hard to imagine that it didn't at least come across at some point, right?
Sure.
And especially in the way that her life does not end with her death. It continues on to this sort of hopeful, whatever it is. I read that as just an allowance of people to keep being people even after their death, because so often the masses in any case of mass death, they get reduced to just a number. It's so easy to do that for the Holocaust, so easy to do that for so many other mass events of mass killing. But, Grossman doesn't let us do that with a character type representing a great many people.
Sure. Yeah. And yeah, again, yesterday we had somebody kind of talking about this in our Discord about how Grossman tries to focus on those moments of life. And I think that's kind of it's a good message for the book overall. I mean, it's a tough read. It's tough to walk away feeling good after reading a lot of the chapters, and that's okay. But I do think that when we focus on those moments of life, we get something that can make us feel good, even in really dire, extreme situations.
Right. Which I think will keep building up as we go to, some later chapters, as Grossman really tries to convey to us the scale of loss and not just say it's a big number, right?
Right.
And that's this horrible thing. But like, look at everything that's lost. Look at all these many moments in time that you've experienced, all just small, tiny facets of this larger event. I think maybe that's all there really is to say about this chapter for the time being.
For now, I think so. And we'll return to it, in our longer episode.
And in that case, you'll have to wait just a little bit longer to hear that. But until our thoughts come out on this in toto, you'll hear from us again soon.